Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Welcome back, everybody, to the QuiverCast. This is Mike, your host, and this is all brought to you by YourAudioLegacy.com and QuiverBuilder.com. And please check out my other podcast, The Stinky Booties, I do with my buddy, Billy. Let's roll. Hello, everybody. This is Mike here on the QuiverCast. And today we have a very, very special guest all the way from Australia, Mr. Shane Powell. How are you, Shane?
I'm very good, mate. Thanks, it was a nice intro. Appreciate those kind words. Thanks, mate.
I'm super excited. Like, it was you're kind of hard guy to get a hold of, but now that we're here, I'm stoked. Thank you.
You know what? Like, I have good friends know what I'm like. Like, I just don't like getting on the phone. It's not that I wasn't trying to get him to put this off or anything, but in general, like, I surf and I fish, and then when I'm fishing, it's so full on my work that it takes up all my time day in, day out, and I enjoy it. I'm not complaining, but I mean, that's the last thing you feel like of an afternoon or an evening is picking up the phone and talking shit or something, you know what I mean? Or just talking to a friend, and they say, far out, like, you haven't called me for weeks, you know? I get all these messages and emojis and stuff, like, 'cause I just don't reply, but eventually I do, you know?
No, I totally understand. I'm actually just like you. You're tired after your day, and you're working hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I enjoy what I do. Same like everyone works hard, and I enjoy what I do. Being on the ocean, fishing, and they're long days. They're up at dark. Sometimes, depending on wind, what that does on the ocean, you're home at dark, and then unload, clean fish, pack fish, get ready for the next day. So it's a constant grind, and then when you're done, you don't start talking to anyone anyway in a couple of days because you need a rest before it all starts again.
Well, actually, okay, since you're talking about that, okay, so for a living, you catch fish, right?
Oh, I do, yeah. I've been doing that for 204, since 204, yeah. I got a commercial license to fish for, what do you call it, demersal fish, anything really, any fish that's in the ocean out to, I've got a depth on my license out to 100 fathoms, which is 600 feet of water.
Wow.
But basically what I do, I build steel cages, and then they have a funnel in one end, and I drop them out in 100 metres of water, and that's a good depth for snapper, the pink snapper.
Okay.
And I go and check those cages every few days, like every couple of days. I've got to put bait in them.
Okay.
Then that's quite a long way off the coast, so it ranges between 30 and 40 kilometres, so it's hard trying to get there with windows of wind and swell and storms and stuff. So you have good runs, and then, you have bad runs. But there's a lot involved, and everyone thinks, I've had people start, like just recently around me, some guys started doing it and they gave it away because they thought they were just going to go and drop the cages and they were going to fill up with fish and they were going to dump the fish and collect all this money. And it doesn't work that way. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we'll go and do that. Yeah. There's so many variables, you know what I mean? You've got to land the trap in the right spot and make sure it lands flat in 100 metres of water, and there's tide out there. The tide can be the top third of the water or the middle column of the water or the bottom. We need it on the bottom, and so therefore the trap moves quicker as you send it down. So it takes a lot of years of knowledge to get to know how to land the trap properly, and specifically where there's good spots on a good reef. Not all that reef is good fishing, so it takes a lot of time and knowledge to accumulate. You know, I've been doing it 20 years, and I think maybe the last 8 years. So I've been doing it 20. I think maybe the last 8 years is I'm comfortable with able to go and catch something, whether it's not a real lot, but I can come home with something. Whereas before then, I might come home with nothing sometimes, previous years. you know?
Yeah.
Like I have dud days, but like I'm confident that I can scrape up something now to get through anyway, you know what I mean? So it's just a bank of knowledge you build up over time, you know? So
For sure.
yeah. Yeah, I love it. I enjoy it, yeah.
Dude, that's rad. Okay, so I want to talk about that a little bit, but how's fuel prices right now?
Oh, it's killing. Yeah, everybody, it's crazy, you know. It's everything's same as you guys are still the squeeze there and everything. Everything just seems to go up and up and up. And fuel's not deadly. It's lethal at the moment. It's like doubled and it's just crazy, you know what I mean? It's just, it seems to be, it came down a little bit, I think, a few months ago. The government like have a 40 cent tax on fuel, like on that what we get charged.
Yeah.
So they took that off for I think 6 months, or it might have been something around. Yeah, I think they might have only taken 20 cents off actually, and then we're meant to see that at the Bowser, right? But the most I saw that there's meant to be a regulating body that's meant to look at those service stations and make sure they drop to 20 or 30 cents. But I saw some come down only 10 cents, and now it's gone back up, like it's gone through the roof again. We're up to $2.20 again. You know what I mean?
Wow. But so to fill that boat up is crazy amount of money, probably.
Look, it was all right because I've only got a 7.5 meter like aluminium boat with a cabin, and it's got like a Volvo Penta, which you've probably heard of. They're popular over there in the States too. Volvo Penta from Sweden.
Okay.
It's an inboard 200 horsepower with a leg that goes through the stern of the engine, so not an outboard that sits on the back.
Okay.
But it's really, really economical. But I mean, I was spending $100, you know what I mean, and now I'm up to like $180 or $200 because I was trying to keep a little bit more in there in case the day's not going that good, and then I got to go and do other stuff or go further afield or something happens and I want to do something else. I've always got to keep extra in there. I can't just run it at a little bit, you know what I mean? It's like just for that day, a skimpy little bit, but. Prices, yeah, and it hurts. It's everything. It just hurts from everybody, you know.
Wow. Okay, and then the other question I had is, were you totally into fishing as a youngin, as a grom surfing?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, my dad used to do this when I was young. I remember him building fish traps in the garage, you know, to sit and watch him. And he did many things. He was a builder, a wall and floor tiler, fisherman in those days, and they were the good old days. My dad, and he was in that age bracket. Like he would be, I think he'd be in his late 60s now. He's passed away a few years ago from prostate cancer.
Oh,
but they were able to do everything. You know, he would do everything. Like like we have all the builders and that now, like specific tilers, roofers, everything. But in his day and age, they did everything. You know what I mean? Like him and his mate would build a whole house together. You know?
Okay. Wow. It sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, so he passed on a little bit of that to me. I can tile and that, like inside houses. I tile like a few for friends, or I tiled my own house. I'm in the process of doing that at the moment, you know, bathrooms and stuff.
Okay.
But in saying that, sorry, to get back to that, he was into fishing, yeah, like, and that's how I did get into that, yeah.
Did he also surf or no? Did your dad surf?
He was in like what do you call the surf clubs over here, where they paddle boards and the big like surf, those big long boats that they all row in.
Yeah.
He was right into that. A little bit of longboarding in his early days, teenage years, along with the big heavy longboards, and then he got into through his 30s and stuff, 40s. He was into the wave skis. I don't know what you call them over there with the paddle, like the horizontal paddle where they paddle, the short wave skis where they sit in. They sit in them with the little foot stirrups at the front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is that what your name is over there for them? Wave skis, or
maybe like a kayak or something closer to that.
Yeah, like a kayak. But like you're up on top of it. You're not enclosed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few crazy nutcases in Hawaii on them. You know what I mean? That one Bay and places.
It seems like it's hard to like. How would you turn down a face of a wave? I don't know. I don't get those things, but okay.
Well, you lean and you drop your shoulder what way you want to go and put the paddle in, you know?
Yeah.
But it has fins, and then you really laid over on the side. But yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, like he was into that with another one of his mates, and they used to love doing that. Yeah, but
it seems fun, I guess. You got to just run. You got to be on the rail.
Yeah. Well, they seem to skip out a bit. You know what I mean? Like.
Yes.
I saw some pretty heavy wipeouts on the bottom turns. If you go down and you're leaning forward and then you've got to dig in and lean back and then boom, and then the thing pops out and you just get flopped by the lip and you're basically dead.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
And then you're strapped in with a belt so you're under the water rolling over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're attached to something.
Yeah, attached, yeah. Saw some horrible wipeouts, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think they might have had a contest for them, like way back years ago, 20. I'll have to look into that 20 years ago, or maybe you can find something. I think there was a band of them, actually, that went over from Australia too, and they had a full contest, I think, maybe at Pipeline, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, my God, no, that sounds scary.
Yeah, crazy, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
But coming into that water, fishing and everything, I was told by, like, when I used to surf and do the contest and travel, yeah, I was a fanatic fisherman, and my sponsors wanted me to leave my fishing rods at home because I used to get plumber's pipe and stuff all my fishing rods in my board bag and travel with them, you know what I mean? And I was always fishing, and then I was fishing before I went away, and at the places we'd go, the tropical places, I was always fishing, and they'd see photos of me and the sponsors fishing, they were just shaking their head. Not that I wasn't doing the wrong thing, but they knew I was fishing fanatic, and they wanted me to concentrate a bit more on surfing, I think.
Okay.
But look, it was a good outlet and a good release and relaxation thing, you know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah. So Mike, okay, so this is really like more of a surf podcast, but I think they tie together. How did you start surfing?
Look, through my dad being in that, like at the surf club. I grew up in a place called Avoca Beach, about an hour north of Sydney.
Yep.
Beautiful little coastal town, very countryish, right on the coast. And just through that, my dad, my parents, and other close families being in that club environment and being at the beach all the time and just going there, families spending time at the beach, and then I can remember just surfing on little foam boards, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We had an incredible little place at Avoca Beach in a southern corner where the surf club was. It was a protected, a rock pool, like protected from the main ocean. And on the outside of that was a beautiful right-hand Avoca Point, really, really good wave, really nice wave. But on the inside of that, when the tide was high, the waves wash over that, and you get like maybe halfway up your leg high, knee high, maybe whitewashes that had come through that pool, and that's where we all learned to surf in there. Because the parents could walk us out on there on the little boards and then start us off in there. And then when we got good enough to get out of that pond, pool, whatever you want to call it, we migrated to the surf, which was just right next door. There was a rip running out to take you out into the surf, and that was it, yeah. And just went from there.
Was there a lot of other guys out there surfing, or were you kind of...
Yeah, mate, there was. Yeah, we had like I said, really, really lot of all of us friends, and a lot of young kids learning and starting, and there was I remember a school teacher there. He was friends with all the parents and that as well, and my dad, and he was involved in the surf club, and he started a young, like a board riders club for all of us once we were. I think that might have been once we got up to 7, 9 years old. He had this little grommets, and he started a little board riding club for us all. You know what I mean?
Oh, cool!
And then that just grew and grew and grew, and then that got into a bigger club with seniors, juniors, everything. But that's basically how it started. And yeah, it was a real close knit and it was a real good little gang, you know, like we all had mates to go surf with, and no one was on their own. It was all, always at the beach, always in the water, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, it was a really good environment.
Who are some of the guys you were looking up to? Were there anybody like that you're like, oh, I got to surf, like I can't wait to surf like him? Yeah,
when I did get into those like a bit old years, I suppose, after like early teenage years, there was guys like Ross Clark Jones.
Oh yeah.
Mark Sainsbury. I don't know if you remember that name, Mark Sainsbury.
I do. I do remember it, yeah.
Yeah, they were him and Ross Jones were really good friends. He actually passed away with an aneurysm.
Ooh.
In his brain, Mark Sainsbury.
Oh, sad.
But there was those two. There was Glenn Whitten. There was Bryce Ellis. But maybe just those couple there. I think Glenn Whitten was further up the coast towards Norah Head. But I had those guys always surfing there, you know what I mean? Like at Avoca and around where I was, Bryce and Ross and Sanger. Ross and Sanger were always out on the point. So that was his nickname, Mark Sainsbury, Sanger.
Okay.
Always out of Avoca Point, dropping in on each other and doing crossovers, having fun. And I was like, wow, man, this is the life. It's good.
Yeah.
So I knew what I wanted to do, yeah. And plus, where we grew up was just a wave haven. It was once I got into that surfing a bit more and a bit older through teenage years, the waves were just amazing. The reef structures and breaks. I've never seen such a coast down there, which is just jammed in with reefs and headlands. Every southern end of a headland and every northern end of the headland's got a wave on it. It's a good quality wave. And then you might have a beach in between there and the beach breaks are good, but then you go over the next headland and it'll be the same setup as South Point and North Point, but in the middle will be all reefs, really good reefs. It's just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a really wave-rich area to grow up in, you know, and then not many people, you know. Like I said, we had mates and friends, but you'd be looking for people to go surf with, you know.
Really?
Right. Yeah. It wasn't crowded at all, no.
Is it still like that today? Or?
No, that's why I got out of there. I got out of there in about 2000.
Okay.
The highway went in from Sydney and things just, you know, it's inevitable, you know, things change and, yeah, the whole land-based side of it just got crazy busy and I just didn't enjoy it anymore for what I had when I grew up, you know, through those early years, and then it was a different feel. So the hardest bit was moving, though, was moving. I just missed the waves so much, you know what I mean, just having so much on offer, on hand, you know what I mean. I moved up to the north coast there, up to Yamba, just in between Ballina and Coffs Harbour. Beautiful stretch. And the waves may be more perfect when they are on, but there's just not as much on offer. Not as much diversity as well. Like down there where I'm from, there was like whatever wind there was, it didn't matter. Whatever wind, there was always somewhere offshore.
Yeah, that's rad.
And it was amazing just because the headlands are so big and the bays are so big, so you can get right into them and you get these offshores or semi-offshores in any wind and that, which if you know where to go. But up here, this north coast is very exposed to wind. You don't get a lot of that, but the waves are incredible. But yeah, they're a little bit more few and far between, you know. But they are really, really perfect. I suppose I was just spoiled though where I grew up, you know. I still dream about places down there and I still look on down the internet and people taking photos and I just roll my eyes or I show Steph, look at this, I surf there, I used to surf there. I'm a little kid. I only did it 2 days ago, I saw a wave and I was like foaming at the mouth going, oh no.
Yeah, that was my question. Did you feel like you were spoiled? Because it sounds like you were. Like you had it so good.
Yeah. Definitely, hey. It was like, it was amazing growing up in a place like that. Just, I can't even explain it really. Well, I'm trying. There's just so many ways on offer and so much, diversity, you know. I suppose that's why there was quite a handful of good surfers that come out of there, like Ross, Bryce, Ellis.
Are you in contact with those guys now? Any of them? Are you friends with them still?
I am not. No, I do see Bryce Ellis. It's funny, like he's the older one out of them. I think he was a little bit older than Ross and that. I think Bryce and there's another guy, Glenn Whitten, they were in the same era.
Yep.
So when I started like competing and stuff, I think they were getting towards the end of their Bryce and Glenn Whitten and that. But
yeah.
Bryce Ellis, he's up here now. I see him quite regularly, you know, but the funny thing was that when I can't remember the year, but when I went to Hawaii, you know, and I started going to Hawaii through my, would have been mid-teenage years, I'd say 16-ish or something, 17.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed with Bryce. Because he was. Oh, I knew him from Avoca, and he was good friends with my dad and mum and that. He said, he would look after me in Hawaii. So I went and spent. It could have even been, maybe my second year in Hawaii. I spent with him right in front of, just across from Sunset. The next headland across. I can't remember the name. Just on the other side of the channel there.
Okay.
I think it's Monster Mush and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we had a little shack right there, and he had his girlfriend, and I stayed with him. But it was such an eye-opener, and it was such the best time because I had a quiver of boards off John Carper then, JC.
Yep.
And then Bryce was just so into surfing, and he just loved sunset. And we were up every morning when there was a swell, well, pretty much every morning. It didn't matter. We'd surf Monster Mush or somewhere, but when there was a swell coming, he was a fanatic about sunset, and we'd be up on the beach at dark, just sitting there shivering because it's cold in the morning over there,
Yeah.
And waiting to paddle out, and we'd jump in and paddle out at dark and then surf sunset. It really was a stepping stone for me, you know what I mean? It really helped me.
So
regret. Well, not that I'd been much to Hawaii, but he gave me a nice foot in there, you know what I mean, to see what it was about and how to approach it,
Okay, so so do you remember your first trip to Hawaii, and how was that?
Mm-hmm. My very first trip to Hawaii, it might have been a year or two before that. It was so that might have been a couple of years before that. I might have been around 16 years old, my first trip. I think it was with Billabong.
Mm-hmm.
I was sponsored by Billabong in Australia. When you started doing well in contests and that, they'd grab a handful of kids, maybe 4 or 5, that had done well that year, and take them from Australia and take them to put them in a house in Hawaii. Like, you have guys look after you from Australia, and they just go over there and show you what it was about and everything. And that was my first trip there to Hawaii, was that sort of style, I didn't really. That was fun, but it was sort of like that was young, man. You know what I mean? You're not really. You're just looking at everything in awe and sort of just going around watching contests and having a bit of a surf, and But that was maybe a couple of years later. That would have been because I was with Rusty after that, a couple of years after that. So that would have been around 17, I suppose 18 years old, and that's probably when I was with Bryce, and that was my first real like got into the surfing and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how was your first time out at Sunset? Was it heavy?
Well, I'd surfed at pre that time when I was with the Billabong guys, but you're just flopping around like little kids and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's telling you anything, and then you're basically the guy that's with you, looked after you, but he's out surfing too, and you're on your own with your mates that's there. So it was a scary place. But I mean, like when I went with Bryce, that was completely different. He shows you the lineups and where you're meant to sit and watch this on the hill, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's overgrown there now, but there's a little gap and a telegraph pole or something I can remember that you line up on the hill. And so there was all that aspect of it, you know what I mean, which made it less, less scary, I suppose, because it's scary when you're that young.
Yeah.
There's football fields of water moving everywhere around you, you know what I mean? And then when you're just out there like I was a couple of years before that, floating around like Flotsam and Jetsam, like a piece of rubbish or something, like throwing the board and stuff. And so then a couple of years later, it's completely different to have the guidance and have someone say, okay, sit here and you'll be all right. But if you're not too sure about that and you think you're going to get cleaned up, we'll paddle there and then you're safe from there, you know what I mean? So, it takes on a different aspect.
What was your first thought, like leaving Australia? Okay, so with Bryce, and you're actually taking on heavy Sunset. Was it comparable to home or not even close?
Not even close. No. I mean, like home wasn't. You know, was that what you meant? Yeah. Home, no.
Like the quantity and quality of the waves, like heavy water moving.
Yeah. Just that was amazing. Just the channel at sunset and how much water was moving, you know what I mean? And just, I actually caddied for him actually that year. Yeah, it was really nice. I can't remember like what that who sponsored that back then, whether it was, I don't know, I suppose Smirnoff or someone maybe, I'm not sure. But I remember sitting out there on one of the days caddying for him, and I was thinking, geez, I hope, because I know he was a bit of a charger then. I was like, I hope he doesn't snap his leg over his board, you know. And here I am, he's going to stop it for half, or give me a quarter, and he gets a full one. But I do remember that it was just absolutely perfect, and I was going, I can't wait till I can surf in a contest out here, you know what I mean? I was just wrapped with it. It was one day, it was real sunny and 6 to 8 feet, so like big, but not too, like not getting over that 10, 12, 15 feet where it starts to get really heavy. It was manageable, and I remember it was just, it was incredible. And I had a front row seat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was the only thing in the back of my head. I was going, just don't bloody break your leg rope or something.
That's funny. Okay, so when was your first time you got to surf Sunset in a heat?
Oh.
And how'd you do? Do you remember?
Yeah, I really can't remember my surf. It would have been like in one of the tournament, the pro events, but I can't remember. But like I'm from then on, like that initiation with Bryce, I felt comfortable every year after that. So it was something that I really enjoyed going and surfing Sunset, and I surfed it all the time. I surfed it on 6 foot or 12 foot. I just loved it. In the end, I enjoyed it. I was comfortable. Primarily because I had that lineup, the little spots given to me through Bryce, where you sit and where you're safe, and that where the paddle, and when this one comes, the west one, and then you know what I mean.
Yes.
So I had that, and then once you work that out, and once you get comfortable with that, you progress every year. You know?
Yeah.
So, and that was in the end, it was my favourite wave Sunset. I just loved it. I surfed it all the time, and I felt comfortable there in heats and contests. I felt like I could go and get waves and get through quite comfortably, you know. It was good, you know.
Did you ever get any results at Sunset, or how'd you do?
Oh, look, I did. I had good heats, and I did win it one year, but it was small, so that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
It kind of still does.
Well, it sort of matters, yeah. I mean,
It does matter.
Like Sunset Sunset, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was only like riding on the inside, like 4 feet, maybe 6 feet, I think. So, but no, I had results there. I had good heats. You know, I had some heats with Bunny. I think I had a couple of heats with Andy, and yeah. So, but I when I did have a heat there, I didn't worry. Depending on who I had in it, I didn't worry because in the end, I was so comfortable with it in my head that I had my lineup. I knew where I was going to go and get the wave.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going to go out there and just hope the wave comes to me. I knew if there was a big set going to come, like, you know, I had to let that go. I knew I could paddle in behind and get to my little lineup spot, and then hopefully get a wave before the next like clean-up set came. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you had to dice with death a bit. That's what I found at Sunset. Even when it was crowded, if you wanted to get waves, you could sit with the pack and then hang on the fringe, on the verge of it. But there's little spots tucked just inside them. If you could let a big clean-up set go on and bowl in there and put yourself in harm's way, but not right at the moment. But you had to make sure that you had to get the first couple of waves at the next big set, you know what I mean, or you were done for.
Yes. Okay.
You know? So, yeah, and that's how I looked at it in the end. I knew I had my spot down and I knew I could get waves. So, I really enjoyed it in the end. Sunset. I always say now I want to go back and surf it. I say to Steph, I want to go back and surf it. I've still got my boards here from years ago. That might be a bit narrow now, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I haven't put on any weight, but I'm still riding a board from the 90s. Like, people look at me and surf and go, man, what's that board? Like, and I show them, and it's still 18 and 8 wide.
Wow.
Like, I haven't gone through the whole thing of boards where they blow them out and shorten them and make them wide. I've been riding since I left, like 20 or longer than that, 30 years ago.
Wow.
20 years ago, I've been riding the same board, same style, but it seems to be coming back that way a little bit. A lot of guys I see around here and that are going back a bit narrower and stuff. And yeah, I have a lot of people like go, geez, that board looks nice. You know what I mean? Can I have a look at it? And they go, oh shit, it's like a little knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's amazing.
But there's a handful of boards that you have in your lifetime. Doesn't matter if there's a professional surfer or just an everyday surfer. I think they know they've got boards in their head too that have been their best boards. But I think there's only like a handful of boards you have. I don't even know. Maybe I've had 3 boards or 4 boards my whole life that go in a 2-foot wave and they go in an 8 or 10-foot wave. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I love those boards. And they're the boards when you used to travel and do contests that help you win and make you do good, because you don't have to decide on what board you're going to ride. You turn up for the contest and you just have your board on your arm, and the beach break, it doesn't matter if it's 2-foot or it picks up the 10-foot. And guys are going, oh, what am I going to ride? Oh, I'm going to ride this or that. Unless it's J Bay or something, obviously, where it's a long speedway, but just in beach break style stuff, you know?
Yes.
And that's where I'm at now. I've got a board from the 90s that I've had in the garage so long, and then I actually tiled a friend's house, a few years ago. I had been riding this old board, and then it was real brown and decrepit, but I just loved it. It was going so good, and people just look at me in the water and shake their head. And don't you have any other boards, mate? Powelly? I'm going, oh man, this one's too good. I just busted off it and that, and it was just insane. And then I went and tiled a friend's house, and who actually was one of my last sponsors, Local Knowledge Cure Surf from the Gold Coast. And then I tiled his floor, big tiles, porcelain tiles, and then I had my old board along with me, and I had it in the garage. And lo and behold, I didn't know, but his son said to me, he said, oh, Dad, he said, what's bloody Powelly doing with that bloody board? Look at it, you know? This bloody thing, it's about to fall apart, this brown bloody yellow thing in the corner of the garage. And, so what they did for me, I didn't know, they took the board away and put it through a machine, and then when I finished the tiling job, they put 2 brand new boards in front of me.
Oh, rad. That was nice.
Oh, nice. So nice of them. And now I've never gone through the board shaping machine thing, like getting boards processed through that and keeping, but now I do. Now I've got this board, it's on file.
Yep.
Never thought it'd be like that, and I just ring up and say, can you give me like 125 again, make it like a little bit shorter? That's the only thing I've done, but the reason I kept the board, like I was getting back to it, goes in everything. The rock is just incredible board, you know, it goes in little waves. So for the last 18 months, we've had amazing waves here, like on this stretch of coast. We've had the best waves we've had for 20 years, I think, just swell pounding the coast, and all last year was amazing swell. And I never took another board to the beach. I just took that one.
Really?
And the one that they had put through the machine, because it's all nice and new now, and I just had that in the car, and I'd ride it and gower it like 2-foot or 10-foot.
Wow.
It's beautiful, yeah. It's nice to have a board like that, you know?
Yeah, and another thing you said, you haven't gained any weight, but it's like most guys as they get older, they're definitely gaining weight, and their body's changing.
Yeah.
And your boards are still working. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I keep in the water all the time, and like I actually have trouble putting on weight. Like I try and put on weight. I don't know. It's hard. I do a fair bit of stuff. Like when I do work and I surf, and I'm always just like my partner Steph says to me, she says, "Oh, you're going to make yourself sick." And she just looks at me and shakes her head sometimes. The only time I stop and have a rest is when I do get sick or something, because I've been doing too much. And that's my problem, you know what I mean? I just keep going and going and going. But in saying that, yeah, that's why I don't put on much weight. But I'm healthy, and I pretty much stretch every morning, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
And I feel as good as I have, really. Not that I could go back and do anything, but I mean, I feel really healthy, and and I still have the surfing bug, you know what I mean? I might not surf for 2 weeks, If I'm not in the mood and the waves are average, but like when the waves are good, I just drop everything. I just drop everything, and I surf 3 times a day. I've still got that much energy I can.
Wow.
Like last year, I surfed on a big day. I surfed 3 times a day. You know what I mean? I just love it.
Wow. I've seen video on your Instagram, and you're still killing it. Like, you surf just as good as you did. Like, you haven't lost anything. You're ripping.
Yeah, thanks. Look, I think I think basically when you get to my age, I'm nearly 50, I think you just got to keep doing stuff. I've had guys around me, that stop, and the longer you are out of the water, it seems harder to get back in the water. They don't want. So the longer, what I see is guys that they have an injury or they do something, they don't get near the water, and then the longer they stay out, it seems like they lose that feeling to go back in the water.
Yes.
So I make sure, and I can sense that sometimes with me. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood, or like the surf's no good. Like, I'm not going to go and surf, put it that way. If it's crappy, I don't go and surf. I've done enough of that in my life. I'm like, nah, stuff that, you know what I mean? Like, when it's good, I go. But I can get to that stage 3 weeks, or I might go a month if it's really crappy without a surf. And then I feel I've got to push myself to get back in. I have to, I might go for a crappy surf just to get the arms and that going, and just to get back in. So because I know when the surf's good, I'm not going to be where I want to be for that next surf when it's good, the waves are going to be up to scratch, and I don't like feeling like that. I've done it a couple of times, and I don't like it. I like to make the most of those good sessions because there's not enough of them,
Yeah, for sure. When you were younger, let's say when you're just coming on the surf scene, just turning pro, versus now, do you enjoy surfing just as much, or do you enjoy it now more or less, or is it different? Probably.
I think maybe different style of wave then. Like, I was more hell bent on just barrels and just obviously a bit more flexible back then and stuff. So I was the waves a little bit more consequence and pushing myself a lot more, Whereas now I know that I can hurt myself. I've done it a few times, gone out on a big day and gone over on the first wave I shouldn't have taken, and then twisted my arm or shoulder or something, just stupid, without stretching or something, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but I still, like people say, and Steph, my partner, says that I go crazy when the waves are good. I don't shut up, you know what I mean? I just go and I love it. I still have that bug to surf, I still have that fire, yeah. Even she, I think hers is as well, because she's the, I don't know if you know, Steph's background, she's bodyboarder.
Yes, I saw that.
And she's like she's amazing. She's got to surf every day, every single day. Even if I would think I know the weather pretty good, and then the weather's, I'm going to say the waves aren't they good? No, I've got to go and look. I've got to check. Throw it up in the car, and I'm going, look at it. Look at the weather map. Look at I'm just going to check. I shake my head. And then she gets to sit with me, and she won't take my surf report anymore when I get out in the boat, because I'm out real early and I'm going past the waves at the back. And, no, it's shit. And then I get this message in a couple of hours, you bloody idiot, the waves are pumping. Oh, shit. And I'm like, well, I was looking at the backs of them, the sun was just coming up. I can't see. So
yeah,
I don't take my advice anymore. So she's really inspiring too, because she's just still has that hunger to surf and be in the water, and that rubs off on you when you're around someone like that as well.
For sure. Do you guys surf together a lot, or does she do her own spot?
Yeah,
you
a lot. Well, we if we can coincide with it with her work and my work, but a lot we do. Yeah, we surf a lot together. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Like bodyboards, and then when it is smallish, she's learning to stand up the last few years, just to mix it up a bit. So, it's fun, Yeah. And it's good, it's a good vibe when we know the waves are good and we've got the stuff going and have a good surf together, and we'll take insane surf together with not many people out, and it just makes it so special, you know.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, and then going back to when you were younger as a pro surfer, were you planning on being a pro surfer, or did it happen accidentally? Like your amateur career versus you being a pro, you did very well as a pro.
Yeah, look, it did. Just because of that, I from when I started surfing and that, and then doing the little comps, you know, like there were nothing with this school teacher I said that was in the surf club doing everything, and I thought I had a little bit of natural ability, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
So then that progressed, and then, I went in a few. I used to win a few of those contests, just little ones, local ones, and then just watching those guys, you know, like Ross and Mark Sainsbury and Bryce travelling and watching them on the movies and stuff. And that put the seed in my head, and that's all I wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
And I was luckily, I suppose, I was gifted, I should say, with having a little bit of ability to follow that through, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I had quite a good run, really, with sponsorships. I had some good sponsors and just fell on the right path. I know a lot of people do it hard, and there's a lot of things happen on the way, and I had a couple of good sponsors, and I had some good results, and that helped, and it was just sort of an easy start, really. But in saying that, I never questioned if I was going to do it or not do it. I was just full on. I don't even know if I knew if I was going to do any good, but I was hell bent on that's what I wanted to do. You know?
As a lifestyle?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you're that young and you're sitting in school, and I hated school, primary school, and thinking of these guys surfing, and these older guys, and travelling the world and seeing on movies, and that's all I wanted to do. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do was travel and surf and be like those guys, you know. Seeing them at the beach every day, you know, and like, well, when I wasn't at school, but yeah, you know.
Okay. So you get out, so you go and you do what you feel like you want to do, which is travel the world and stuff. Was it as fun as you thought it would be when you were sitting in school and having those thoughts of doing it? Or was it more, did it come work?
No, it was really. It was fun. It was, it didn't become work, feel like a chore, I think, till near the end of my career, really, you know.
Okay.
And maybe that was the reason I stopped. But look, I had bits and pieces through there where it might have been hard, but in general, no, there was no.
It was good times.
No doubting. Yeah, no doubting. It was good times. It was really good. Yeah, it was everything that I wanted to do, you know.
Yeah.
And look, but it was a pretty amazing time when I started. Like it was. There was a good crew there, and it was quite social in that. It was like, you know what I mean? It was
everybody was friends.
Everyone's friends and laid back, and you know, everyone mingled different. Like, well, I suppose they do now, but I don't know. It just didn't have that. Well, it didn't have the money then, and it just it was just a different vibe. But then, look, halfway through my career, it changed. Money came into it, and it got more strict and stuff, and it changed. But I think I had the best of both worlds. I had quite a good start to it, you know. It was a good eye-opener, you know. It was more, well, I don't want to get off track there, but it was sort of more of a social party thing when I started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks fun. It looked fun. From an outside perspective, it looked like you guys were having a ball.
Well, we were, yeah. It was insane. It was insane. The guys I hung out with were older than me, and they looked after me, and it was like, it was incredible. Yeah, it was the best times ever. Yeah.
Yeah. But, okay. And then you look at the pros today, and like you guys had personality kind of back then. Like you guys could show your different personalities. Yep. And today it doesn't seem like. I mean, I'm not talking about pro surfing today, but it just seems different.
Yeah.
Like you said, different.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't have that vibrant feel or like you said, the personalities don't really come out. You know, it's more. Yeah, I don't follow that much of it because of that reason. I think, you know.
Oh, okay.
Look, I a little bit. Look, I watch. If the waves are good, I'll watch it. But in saying that, I suppose that's the same as anything. I suppose when I was travelling, if the waves were no good, no one would watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
But it is. Yeah, it's completely different these days. Completely different.
Do you?
It was full of characters.
Yes.
Full of characters. Like when I was there, you know. All of them, and they were allowed to express that. I mean, like you just said, that was the thing, you know. It was a little bit off the rails. They're allowed to express, you know.
I don't know if like sponsors today. I mean, I'm just assuming that. I don't know. Everyone seems so contained. Like you gotta. I don't know. You don't want to piss anybody off, or you don't want. I don't know. I don't have no clue. But it just seemed like you guys were having that era, and maybe the era before you in the '80s. You guys were all having a good time. It seems like, and there was rivalries.
Yeah. No, there was. It was. I don't know how it comes about. It's inevitable. Things change. And like I said, I suppose the money side and all the companies are trying to make money. And everything changes. Everything evolves. And that's just the way it was pushed. I suppose it got pushed into the mainstream as well. Like, you know what I mean? It was surfing out there now, and that's one side of it, so it can't be like it was.
Right. I mean, now you know who won the contest. You can literally watch it on TV as it happens. You guys,
well, that's it.
When you guys were competing, you would know till the next month who won in Surfer Magazine or whatever magazine was out.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right. And you could get away with certain things back then, you know what I mean? Like, nothing, everything wasn't filmed or whatever.
That's true too.
So, you know, and I think, the rules are in place now for things. But I mean, back then you'd have guys running up to the judges' tower shaking it or throwing stairs at them or screaming and bloody or grabbing them by the neck or something, and, you know.
Okay, so do you want to say any names or tell us a story like that? Like, do you remember something like that happening? Or was it you or was it...
Oh, look, that was just, lots of guys did it, you know what I mean?
Okay, that sounds funny.
You know,
I'm not trying to have you tell anybody.
No.
It just, that sounds funny, actually. That would never happen. That could not happen today.
I think guys had, and I think, off the top of my head, there was a fight at one of the places in Japan. It might have been Potts and Gerlach. You'll have to look that up. I think maybe they had a punch on, like just in the front there of the beach, you know. And it was just whatever happened. You know what I mean?
I've never heard that. Was it them fighting each other?
Yeah. I think
that's funny.
Yeah.
Which is,
I'm pretty sure they had a bit of a punch up on the beach.
That's great.
Like,
you know, the funny thing is, those two guys were like the rock stars of surfing. Like they're kind of grouped, in my opinion, from an outside perspective, like a fan. Those guys were like, you know, like the rock stars, like bright colors, like, you know, very outspoken. That was like, it was full of characters there. Like Potts, and they were just so loud and, you know, out there, you know what I mean? That was great.
Crazy, he was like, that was, Sonny Garcia was a famous one for running up to the judges and
yes,
you know what I mean? So, he had his good moments, and,
Were you friends with Sonny?
I was good friends with him,
Okay.
He was nice as, you know, like such a lovely person, and then he had that fiery side, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Passion.
But passionate. He's nice, such a nice human being, you know.
Yeah.
But everyone has their other sides, and he had the aggressive side, you know what I mean? But he was a famous one for running up and giving the judges' tower a shake or throwing them.
That's so good. That's great. Who were your close mates when you were traveling? Did you have traveling partners, or were you kind of like, how was the arrangements worked out?
Look, it just depended on who you traveled with. Like when I traveled, like in my early days with me and Shane Herring, my best mate.
Okay.
Our very first year in Europe, it was me, Shane, and Kelly. We travelled our first year together.
Oh, really? Okay.
France, yeah. And then after that, it was me and Shane travelled together through there. Yeah, and then I think, I travelled for a while. It just depends who you pair up with, and then sometimes I think sponsors would get a photographer or a house or something, so then you'd lose that mate or something, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
the sponsors would get a house so you couldn't stay with them anymore, so that you'd veer off on another path. So I stayed with Michael Barry, and I remember him, Munga Barry.
Yeah.
Few years with him for a year. That was good, you know.
Yeah.
He was very down to earth and just into his meditation and stretching, and it was good.
Okay.
I think that was the main thing, just trying to pair yourself with someone that was good for you as well.
Yes.
You know.
Do you ever have any bad roommates, or always good roommates? And did you travel with the people with the same personality as you, or were you traveling with like someone more mellow or more crazy?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same. Yeah,
Okay.
Pretty similar. Yeah, pretty similar. No, I travelled with, and after I had quite a few years travelling with Bo Emerton. He was a good friend of mine.
Yep.
And then probably not our wisest move, because we both liked partying a fair bit. So we're always kind of, like. In one place, he'd be giving me the bloody Barocca or the water in the morning because I'd been out, and the next time I'd be serving him. You know what I mean? So
yes. Hey, I didn't know you travel with Kelly. So, do you? Okay, so I think you're surfing very well. This is a hypothetical.
Yeah.
How would you do? I mean, so Kelly's still on tour. That's insane, right? I mean,
yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
Does that make you like? And he's surfing as well as ever, really, when it's big, especially.
Oh, yeah. No, he's surfing insane, and I think it's good on him to do it. I don't know how he does it. Just to go through that mental strain, I suppose it is, and then traveling. That's what got to me in the end, just the travel and the constant just wheel of just coming home, unpacking, going, and I just got burnt out in the end.
For sure.
I said that to myself today. I never thought I would. I had guys above me and good mates and stuff, and they'd be there one day in a hotel room, and I'd see them, and they'd go, "I'm done." I said, "What are you fucking talking about? What we're doing? Look at this.
We're living the life."
I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done. That's it. I'm not going. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm like, and then I was just scratching my head, going, "How did these guys get to this in their head? How did this happen?" And then lo and behold, one day there I was. I just went, "I can't do this anymore." You know what I mean?
Okay.
I actually strapped myself up one day that I didn't have. I suppose I can talk about it now. I strapped myself up, pretended I was injured. I strapped the bandage around my head. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to get on the plane and go away, because that's how over it I was. I just went, I can't go. I'm done.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, saying what Kelly's at, just amazing how he's been there so long. But it gives, it's good inspiration, really.
Totally.
I like what surf still, and I think, I think he's 50, and it gives me, because I keep thinking to myself, I know I'm surfing every day, and then I'm going, I hope I can keep going and going and going. And then when I look at Kelly and go, far out, he's still going really good. That's good, you know what I mean? There's still a few more years left, you know?
Wow, yeah. This is a hypothetical. This is a hypothetical, all right? And I see how well you still surf. You get a chance to surf against Kelly in the heat, what wave would you pick, and how big would it be that you had? You don't have to answer this if you don't want. I just thought of this right now.
Oh, look, I don't know. I would like to have a surf, whatever, really, 6 to 8 feet, nice walls and barrels or something, you know?
Okay.
A bit of everything, so you could do a bit of everything, you know what I mean? Because I think he's pretty damn really unbeatable in real hollow one. Yeah, he's another level on those barrels. He always has been. His intuition and just he can be in a closeout barrel or not seeing, and just his feel to come out of the barrel is just pretty mind blowing. You know what I mean? Like there was a barrel there, that last one there, backdoor in the pipe he just won. You know that one on his
Right.
toe. You know.
I mean, most humans just can't relate to what he's doing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Hey, he's just got such a good feel for that. Yeah, like he's lethal there at Pipeline.
Lethal.
Like I was saying, I love surfing Sunset, and that's what he adapted. Not that I was anything like that at Sunset, but I mean that was my piece that I liked. I liked going every day and surf Sunset. I just loved it. You know what I mean? I didn't surf Pipeline, free surf it much because it was just too hectic for me. You know, the crowd and that. And I found my little niche at Sunset where I could go and get waves whenever I wanted to. But at Pipeline, I couldn't do that. But
okay,
I mean, he was in a different bubble there, I suppose. You know what I mean? He spent lots of time on the North Shore.
Yeah.
And he that was his little background, his little playground, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah, he adapted to that so well. And I suppose in one of his earlier movies, he said, like in the early, I think, one where he came, a Quicksilver one, I think, when Tom Carroll was talking about him, he said that was the place that he wanted to learn to surf because it was like the amphitheater. I don't not those exact words, but it was in everyone's face right there. You know what I mean? So he wanted to concentrate on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's paid off.
It paid off. Shit, it paid off. Yeah.
I have a question. I think I remember something about you, like I don't know, with Joel Parkinson, maybe I don't know, a couple of you guys surfing Chiapu. Did you have a 2-wave hold down or something one time?
I did, yeah. I did at Choker, yeah. It was like...
Can you describe that? And then how did that feel?
I was pretty lucky because every year in Chopu, it was me and Bo Emerton again. We were travelling together and we used to stay right there in front of Chopu and this lady's place. It was beautiful right at the front, big grassy. We could just sit there and you wouldn't see much. You could look out because it still was a fair way out, like a kilometre out or something. What would that be in your terms? Like half a mile out or something?
Yeah, like far out.
Yeah, far out. So you're just seeing spits and whitewash. But we stayed at this place every year, and so we got pretty. It was good, really good. It was it was good for us staying there. The only thing, sometimes you didn't sleep much because you just hear the rumble all night. You know, you'd hear it hitting the reef, and you'd just be the heat and everything. You'd be sweating. You didn't sleep that well some nights, but we got. I was not suppose real comfortable, but it was good staying there and free surfing when the contest was done, or we could free surf earlier if the contest had a lay day. We'd surf it, you know. So it was good for us there staying there. But in that one instance, it was a big year. I can't remember. I think maybe later that day they called it off, but I think there was Sunny and Bo Emerton. That was in the 3-man heat still. Yeah, it was Sunny and myself and Bo, and it was big and really, really big. And we were all paddling up the wave.
Okay.
And then for a split second, I realised that I was in that little spot where it was just going to let me slide in.
Okay.
And I've been watching all day from the channel, and I've just been seeing carnage all day. And I thought, Jesus, man, I just don't want to do that. Like guys flying upside down through the barrel, and it was just like terrifying watching that. So I suppose that's the worst thing you can do: sit there all day and just peer into it. And and it was getting really big, and then as I said, I was paddling up with the other two guys, and then. I don't know how it happened. I just realised I was in that little chip-in bit, and I just spun and got in, and then it was such a big barrel. I made the drop on my backhand, grab and rail, and then straighten, and then held my line, and then I realised the barrel was it was so far, the lip on the outside, like not hitting me, but I realised it was going to be one of those pressure ones that you see them and they just explode, and they're just too too much foam and too powerful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back a little bit, and there's no way to come out. And I just thought, I didn't even get time to think. I was held my line for a bit, and the next thing, all I can remember, I was upside down, flying through the air, going, oh, shit. Like, just remembering all the guys I've watched through the day, going, oh, shit. And, and so that pummeled me, and then I didn't hit the bottom that time, though, but I remember I was under for ages and ages, and I was under for, seemed like I don't know how many seconds, but then I started stroking for the top, and I think the jet ski started looking for me. The Tia David was driving it.
Okay.
And then, I was pretty much out of breath by the time I realised I was getting near the surface in all the turbulent foam, and then I thought, oh shit, I got a bit worried because I thought the next wave, I'm in the impact zone, the next wave's going to land right on my head. I haven't got it through the foam yet.
Oh, no.
And it was so much foam and stuff, like just that I had to try and get through to get my head above that foam to get up. And as I went to get up, the jet ski whacked and hit me in the head.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. And, that was when they picked me up. Sorry, I didn't get there, that one. That was right. The next wave went over me.
Okay.
So it went over me as I got about to put my head through that foam. The next wave went over the top of me, and that's when the jet ski was looking for me on the next one. And then they accidentally hit me in the head with the jet ski, because I was like, they were looking for me in the foam, and I was totally, all my lactic acid built up in my arms and legs. And I was lucky. I think maybe one of the big Hawaiians was on the back of the jet ski, Brian Kilana, or
yeah.
I think he might have been doing water security there or something. No, I couldn't move. He dived off and coat anchored me and just dragged me onto the back of the
no way
floating foam bit on the back of the jet ski, and then I just hung on, and they zoomed me out and dropped me off. But
wow.
I don't think I went back in because it did me over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. But I remember, because I watched the replay of that wipeout, and then I saw Robbie Page was commentating, and he was going, "Oh, they were looking for me, and they couldn't see me in the foam." And so it had the second wave go over the top of me, and then I just they picked me up after that.
Wow.
But it's a pretty heavy place. But I was actually fortunate, I suppose, that I'd been doing a lot of training before then, a lot of training.
Okay, good.
I've been doing a lot of boxing, actually, which I'd never really done, and I was swimming a fair bit. So, if I hadn't done that, I probably would have been stuffed, because I was stuffed as it was,
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was no joke. I was laughing, but I guess I shouldn't have laughed. It just sounds amazing. Scary.
Look, it's really scary, yeah. Like, if they wouldn't have been there, I would have been in trouble, you know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
I would have been in trouble, yeah, for sure. But I didn't hit the bottom, and that's one thing I was grateful for, you know what I mean? I think I might have glanced the bottom on that second wave when I was trying to get through the foam. To that first instance, I was trying to get through the foam, and then the next one came over me, and then that was when they kicked me after that. But I didn't glance the bottom, which was, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't out there. Maybe you're just off the little bit of the edge of the reef,
Yeah.
Or there's so much water unloading on the reef that you're just lucky and you don't get in that one that goes to the bottom of to the coral,
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And then, one other thing I read, I don't know how this story passed me, but I guess it happened in 2017, which I thought was hilarious, that you almost won the Surfer Magazine Surfer Poll in 2017. I guess did you know this about the Russian hackers or a Shane Powell fan?
No, I didn't even know.
I guess in 2017, some Russian hackers got on there and they all voted for you to be the Surfer Poll winner.
Right, go, Vlad.
The Russians love you.
Jesus, hey, that's crazy.
Yeah, I read that story today, and I'm like, dude, that's the best story ever.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Hey,
You didn't know you had that many
they
Russian
don't
fans?
mind a bit of They don't mind a bit of tampering, do they? The Russians.
I guess not. But they like you though, so that's cool.
Well, that's I don't. Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about them. That's good. Yeah, Jesus. I'm not sure that I know any off the top of my head. Well, I had an ex-girlfriend that was part Russian, but yeah, no, maybe he still had some feelings for me. I'm not sure. Felt sorry for me or something. I don't know. Trying to rejuvenate me or something.
Oh, that's funny.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's so
crazy.
funny. Right on.
Crazy.
I mean, there's a million. We could keep talking forever, but I know you totally went out of your way for me today, and I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Hey, look, if you want something down the track, or do want something you forgot, just give me a call and we'll fit it in. You want to talk about something else? Yeah, that's fine.
I think we have a lot more to talk about. Maybe we'll do that later on down the line. But it's been an honor,
definitely.
Dude. It's been an honor.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, I'm happy. Just to take the time to just ask questions and about the life and history, and I'm glad that you get a bit of enjoyment out of it.
I love it. I can't relate to getting a two-wave hold down or nothing like that, and I don't think I ever want to. I don't want to know that feeling.
That was the only time I have, and it's quite strange because it is quite a shallow place. So that was the only time it happened there. But the other time it did happen to me was my first two-wave hold down was in San Clemente Island.
Really?
Yeah, when I was with
in California.
In California, yeah.
No
I went out
way.
there with Robbie Bain. He was an Aussie there. And Rusty had organised the boat, and we had this is quite a crazy story. He organised the boat, and then we went out there, and we heard, I can't even remember, there was someone else. There was an American surfer there, sponsored by Rusty, with us. We had the captain of the boat, and we went out there, and it looked pretty big. And I was like, geez, I'd been at Pat O'Connell's house, I think, the night before, watched videos of it at like 6 feet, and it looked insane. Then we got out there, I think it was like 15 or 10 or like 10 to 15 or something.
Wow.
But, and the boat dropped us off at the back. So he dropped us straight off the back, and we paddled straight in. And I took off on the first wave and went over, got annihilated, and then nearly ended up on the rocks. I got a two-wave hold down there. I had a quarter of the tail of my 7.4 left, and then I'm getting pummeled, and I'm just about to get splattered on the rock. And I don't even know what I'm doing. I've just been dropped out of a boat.
Yeah.
I end up about to drown and get splattered all over the rock. And then it just spits me into the channel. And then I can see the guys out in the water so far out, only like 2 of them or 3 of them, and it's huge. And then I'm going, holy shit, I didn't know. I'm thinking, am I in great white shark territory? Huh?
Yeah, you are.
So then there's these sort of kelpie beds, what I noticed, you know what I mean? And I'm on this lane in the channel so far in, and the captain's on the boat. He's gone up the top to see if I was okay. He's waved at me, and I thought, oh, thank God, he's going to come and get me. And then he didn't come and get me. He just stayed out there. So here I am, I'm going, oh, no, I'm going to get eaten. So I ditched the leg rope and the tiny bit of board, and then I made my way to a kelp bed, like semi-submerged, that sort of heavy kelp.
Yeah. And
I laid on that, and then I planned my next little swim, and then I planned the next one that I was going to swim to. I was like this poor injured seal trying to make my way to the boat, and all I could think of was I was going to get eaten. The water was black. I'm laying on these weedy, horrible things. Then I just dive in and swim across to the next one, and then crawl up into it and just lay sort of semi-submerged in the kelp going, well, the shark can't get me there, but he knows I'm here.
Oh, shit.
And then, it was crazy. And then I finally got to the boat, and then, oh, you're all right, you're all right. Oh, yeah, Jesus, yeah, thanks for the help. You know, I only got eaten. And then, it was too big for it, though. I think that place can get too big. What I gathered, and it wasn't really holding it. It was just, it was big, and I was exhausted after that. I didn't go back out. And then Rob Bain and a couple of the other guys got a couple of waves, and then the captain went, "Oh, geez, I'll have a go at this." And the captain then took the boat. He dived off the boat, paddled out. He's gone over the falls on this monster, got washed onto the rock.
No way.
It's an army base or naval base.
Yes.
This truck's flown down and come and grabbed him and whisked him away.
What?
And take him away. And then we didn't see him for an hour. And then we've got I think there might have been the other skipper there or the co-pilot there. We had the radio on or something come through on a phone, and they said, we were talking to the army. They said, "We've got your civilian, and we're holding him for questioning." Questioning. Oh no, what's going on? You know. So yeah, they had him there for a few hours and questioned him and wanted to know what he was doing and why we're there, and it's illegal to be there in the water and that. And they gave him the full ear pounding apparently, and then they let him go obviously. But he said, "Oh, we've got to go. We can't stay here anymore. They want us off the island or out of the channel." Yeah. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, that's an amazing story. That's funny.
Oh, we couldn't believe it. I mean, we're Aussies out here, and they've taken the army, come down and taken the captain away. We're going, "What's going on?"
Oh my God, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Did Robbie Bain get some good waves or no?
He did, yeah, a few, but like I said, it wasn't quite good. It was, what I can remember, that was a long time ago. Like,
yeah. How old were you then?
But I mean 17 or something.
Oh, you're a kid.
Yeah, 18 at the most. Yeah, just maybe 18, maybe.
Wow.
17, 18, maybe, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I always remember that was an experience. I was just so close to getting washed onto the rocks, and then that shark thing just freaked me out of this black water, and I'm thinking I'm going to get eaten. It was horrendous. And the skipper's waving at me, and I'm waving him to come and get me. He's waving, going,
"Yeah." You swim. How far was the swim? Like hundreds of yards or like meters?
Oh, hundreds of yards. Yeah, hundreds. Yeah, I would say 500.
Oh,
meters.
shoot.
Yeah, it was long. It was a long swim. Long, cold. It was like, yeah.
And the wetsuits weren't as good as they are today either, so it's probably all rashed up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, Shane Powell, I really, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate this. This is very kind of you. Do you have any final words?
No, not really. All I can say is just hope everyone keep in the water, everyone keep moving. You know, it's one of the keys to life. I see where I'm from, all the old fishermen and everyone, and you just can't stop. It's so special to be involved with the ocean, I think, too.
Yes.
We've got to. I think I'm at a stage now too where I'm realising that I want to surf for as long as I can. So I'm looking after myself, and I think everyone stay safe and good.
Awesome. Okay, Shane. Thank you once again for joining us. This is Mike and Shane. We're out of here, everybody. Thanks. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Please follow us on Instagram and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Give us 5 stars if you're listening to us on Apple. And do me a favor and tell a friend that QuiverCast is back. I'd like to thank Blue Factory and Dave Hegstrom for the music. And I'll see you all in the lineup.
Are you ready?
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.